Hi guys, Ethereal Awakening here, doing individual zodiac sign readings for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Check your North Node. Your heart is your best guide, and if it resonates with you, then it's for you. If it leaves bad taste in your mouth, spit it out, move away. No big deal. Wanted to talk on triggers real quick. If you're not sure what a trigger is, it's when somebody says something or does something and it pisses you off. You've essentially given that person the power to do that over you with this trigger. And what that is your higher self, your soul, God, is trying to come through and say, heal this. Heal whatever was the root cause of why that thing triggers you. What is it trying to get you to look at in you? So, happy to trigger you again. This one is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Let your heart be your guide. Spirit, what messages do we have for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What messages do we have for Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What messages do we have for Taurus? Thank you in advance. Current energy, Two of Cups. Chariot. Heart space, Ace of Rods, Hanged Man, and possible outcome, the Devil, Six of Swords. And what you might not be aware of or underlying energy, Judgment, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. So, underlying energy says that you are recognizing, you're coming into an understanding of how you got here and where God wants you to go, where your higher power, the picture is starting to become clear of your behaviors in the past that have led you to not the most desirable of outcomes, and how to choose something different to get a different outcome. Because we've got the Queen of Pentacles here looking directly at this Judgment card. She's wanting to manifest what God wants in her life. Her or him. It doesn't matter when I speak on genders are irrelevant. This is definitely a Taurus because we've got earth energy here. So, recognizing that in order to manifest into our lives the beauty and abundance that we believe God wants for us, it's taking heed of the past things that we've done and how we got the outcomes we got. What our role was to get the outcome. If we did some shitty things, we got shitty outcomes. They weren't as desirable as they could be. What God wants for you is bigger and better and brighter than you could ever imagine. But you have to get on that same page. You have to really do an overhaul on you and recognizing that there's no cutting corners in this. There's no, you have to be gentler and softer with yourself, but you have to understand each part of you on a very intimate level. What you did to cause your thinking to go, selfish, or to think, basically, what caused you to go away from Christ-like behavior? Christ was the example of how to live. So if you're doing things that Christ never did, or you're living a life that, was not Christ-like, you're not going to get the biggest and greatest and most wonderful results that God really wants for you. You're not going to come to God by that way. There is only one way. And it is to find yourself in a more Christ-like consciousness. Your current energy, you've got the Two of Cups and the Chariot. To me, this is moving away from relationships that no longer serve you on all kinds of levels. This is cutting off and moving away from toxic, controlling, manipulative, emotionally manipulative, physically manipulative relationships, because that driving force, what you think and what you believe God wants for you in your life, has come from a change in perspective. That Ace of Rods is the passion and motivation to want good things for yourself. Then by default, those around you that you love and care for will get good things. It's not going to feel good at first, Taurus. It's not going to, because you're not used to it. You're going to look at yourself in a different way. You're going to start seeing things about yourself that you don't like, but that's the opportunity to change them. And it's not going to feel good because you're getting used to looking at feelings that you want other people to look at. Well, look at me. I'm this vulnerable person. Well, you don't even act vulnerable. You don't do things in a vulnerable manner. You're just out there being compulsive or whatever. Not really taking the time to invest in yourself first, which will give you the benefits and the rewards from really taking the time to heal some things that, you know, if you want other people to recognize certain things about you, you have to recognize them in yourself first. And then your possible outcome is moving away from compulsive behavior. Recognizing that compulsive behavior is yet another sign that there's something wrong. Something's afoot. Something's awry. And there's something worth looking into and changing. Something that you want to have an emotional rest with. Constantly feeling like you can't relate to people. That gets old. Well, you have to relate to yourself first so you know how to go out and amongst other people and relate to them. This is all the journey back to self. This is Hanged Man. He's alone. One rod. The fire from within that motivates me to change things about myself so I no longer have to sit in compulsive and addictive lifestyle. I no longer have to be controlled by my addictions. How wonderful is it to be free from anything that is addictive to you? Whether that's your telephone, your work, money, you know, any kind of indoctrination that has you slave to it. No longer being a slave to anything or anyone. God doesn't want a bunch of mindless drones. He wants you to follow him for your own free will. That's why he allows everything to happen, because that's the beauty in that justice card. That the checks and balances of nature are just there. The outcomes that you receive are outcomes that you manifested. So when you want to change what you manifest from negative, bad, relationships that you're not really seeing eye to eye in, you got to come and see eye to eye with yourself first. And this is the beginnings of cutting out some people, places, situations, work environments, whatever it is that you are really getting, you feel that toxic inundation from it. So this is beautiful, Taurus. Manifesting right there with the Judgment card. Manifesting what God wants for you in your life based off of what you know you don't want. So I hope this helps. Subscribe if you haven't. See you next time.